everybody, and welcome to another episode of Performer Talk with me, your host Simon South. I hope you're all doing wonderfully well in the UK anyway. Here where I am, we've just entered a second lockdown, so yay! So that'll be fun. But today we're not here to talk about that. Today we are here to talk about being creative and how I put together my own personal creative process. So what I've decided to do is show you exactly how I come up with weird and wacky ideas. Now, these might not necessarily make it into the show that I do. They might never ever see the light of day, and that's fine. That's completely okay. You're just doing it for you to get your juices flowing with certain things. So what we're going to do is I've got my trusty notepad, which is just here by the side of me, and I'm going to plonk it on the table, and we're going to go through how exactly I come up with my creative ideas when I want to try and just think of something a bit odd, something a bit random, just to keep myself entertained with what it is that I do, as well as potentially making something that's really good for an audience to watch. So without further ado, let's get to it! Okay, so what we're going to do here to try and create something completely original is we're going to write down some things that we really like and write down some tricks that we also really like. So hence why we've got the rather cool, funky camera angle, and you've also seeing my current setup for stage shows on Zoom. So with a big massive piece of paper in the way. So here we go. Let's so something that I really enjoy, for instance, would be horror. So let's write down horror. Apologies as well for my terrible handwriting here. So another thing that we also really like, I really like, for instance, is fantasy. So Star Wars and things like that, really. And for some reason there's fireworks going on outside, so that's probably what you can hear. Considering that I'm filming this at midday, I'm very confused! So as well as fantasy, I personally, I enjoy cooking, so I'm going to put down cooking as something as well. So this is what we do, we're just listing things that we really like at the moment, okay? Vintage, okay, so let's put down vintage because I like my bowler hats and my pocket watches and things like that. Also, something else that I really enjoy is murder mysteries, so books and that kind of thing. So we'll put down books with the subtitle of murder mystery. These are things that we really like, or that I really like, that I've decided that I'm going to try and create a trick from. So what is the trick that I'm going to try and create? So this is where we come to the other side of the table. So what we're going to try and do here is we're going to look at tricks that we are trying to create at the moment, or that we want to do. So for me, a trick that I want to do very well would be the cups and balls. So for instance, here we have the cups. I have a routine that I do currently with them, but there's something else that I would like to do with them. So I'm going to put down cups and balls. Let's think of another trick that I really would like to do. Let's just choose one randomly. We'll say the linking rings. Okay, so then we have another one here which says linking rings, and we also have another cool trick, might be a triumph, which for those unaware is when all the cards get mixed up, face down, and when they're spread out everything's back to normal apart from one card, and that's their card. So let's put down triumph, and then we'll think of another fun little thing. Let's say we're going to do a trick with banknote in lemon. It's classic. We're just classic magic pieces here. There we go, and we'll think of one more because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 here, so let's think of an extra one. So an extra one we'll say is colour changing deck. Why not? Perfect. So now what you can do here is you can get, if you're with someone at the moment, you can get them to just randomly connect the dots here. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip this out, and I'm going to tear each individual one of these out. And after tearing each individual one out, I'm then going to put them all in a big pile. So I'm going to pick out a theme from one pile. I'm going to pair it with a trick from another pile. If you were a singer or a different kind of act than magic, you could, for instance, write down your favourite themes here. So, you can still have the same themes, but obviously it'd be singing. So you might have, I don't know, that you really like Ella Fitzgerald. So you'd write down your Ella Fitzgerald song here, and then you really like Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash, so you write down Ring of Fire, and then you do exactly the same thing, and then your mission is to try and sing that song in the style of this, right? So if you were singing, Ring of Fire in the fantasy way, then you will adjust it so it'll be a bit more maybe Lord of the Ringsy, sort of bardsy, lute playing, that kind of feel, right? So this is what we're going to try and do now. So I'm going to take this away, I'm going to rip each one up, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, so we've ripped them all out. We have our themes on this side, and we have our tricks on this side, and I genuinely can't remember what is here, or here I've not done them in a certain way or anything like that. And just to make sure, I'm also going to get our little randomizer tool, the Glass of Mystery. Ooh. So we'll do our themes first. So we'll put our themes in, and all I'm going to do is reach in and pluck one out, and the one that I pluck out will be the theme that we're going to use. Okay, so here we go. Give it a little shaky, shaky, shaky. Okay, so and then not even. Look here, we're going to take one out. So there is our theme. We can get rid of these now. So let's get rid of the rest of them. Plonk that down there. And get our tricks. So our tricks go in here like this. And we do the same thing. Shaky, shaky, shaky. And then we look away, we reach in, and we pull one out to get rid of the rest. And there we go. So what did we end up with? Let's find out. So we have here, this one is, ooh, Books Murder Mystery. Interesting. Okay, so there's our theme sorted. Let's see what the trick that we're doing is. So we're doing a triumph. So yeah, so we're doing a triumph in the theme of murder mystery. Now, obviously, what I've done here, just to make it an example, is I've made the themes specifically very broad. So, whereas when you do it, you can make it as zoned in as you want it to be. Maybe you specifically want to do a trick to do with Disney, but you don't know which Disney film. So you write down all the Disney films, and then you also write down all the characters. So let's say, for instance, you write down all the Disney films that you want to do something with, and then Moana pops up, and then you write down all the characters from Moana, and then you do something associated directly with that character. So you can see how it all starts to come together. I've just made this very broad as a general example. But yeah, so here we go. So it turns out the trick I'm going to be doing next week is a triumph to do with books or murder mystery. So let's see how that goes. Right, so there you have it. I'm apparently doing a triumph to do with books and murder mystery. So that's going to be interesting. A few ideas already forming to try and create something. I'm thinking that because of the way that the triumph works, it's, all the cards get mixed together, and then one card and one card only is left face up. Therefore, we could go down the route of, taking a group of people and they're all mixed up, and then only one of them's the murderer, and things like that. But I'm going to try actually, because it specifically says books on the thing, I'm going to try my darndest to find a murder mystery book that is either well known or not well known that I can relate it to. Obviously, you don't have to do this if you were doing this by yourself. It can just be a diving board to leap off, to give you a bit of motivation, a bit of idea about what it is that you want to create. But just for the sheer hell of it, I'm gonna do my best to actually relate this to a real life thing. So what I'm gonna do is go away this week and try and find the book for a start. So we'll have a look for the book, and then I will come up with my presentation, and then you'll see it. So next week on next week's video, I'm going to show you the book, I'm going to show you the presentation, I'm going to show it all together. So next week you actually do get to see a trick on Performer Talk done by a magician. Oh my god, I know, how bizarre, not just me talking at you for a while. So there we go. That's how I create some stuff. Obviously it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you do have an idea and you go, that trick is awesome, and oh my god, I love this thing. They work together. So that's just a little diving board to help me create and get my juices flowing a bit. So there we go. As I've said, if you really like this video, please do give it a like. Please do subscribe to these as well. Subscribe to the channel. It really does mean a lot to me. Every little subscribe just makes my heart flutter a bit, and it's like, yay, people like me. So yeah, and please do leave a comment down below. If you really like this, then we can do more of them. So I could, for instance, just do a whole series of random ideas and random tricks and then try and create them. So there's something that we could do in the future. But until then, have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. See you then. Bye.